what was then called a fanzine, or either on the bog at work or in a pub or somewhere. And Xeroxed it at work and eventually got it printed and produced that at the end of November 1976.
Punk wasn't just a new brand of music, it seemed to offer revolution in every aspect of life.
It wasn't, if you like, an explosion of the new. I mean, it happens in all sorts of ways at various different times. This society, particularly at the moment, is all about, you have a great pressure of weight of the establishment and institutions keeping forces that act for change down, because we are, in fact, we are living in a time of extreme change, very rapid change, and that change isn't allowed to express itself. And it was rather like a dam bursting. Enough water had built up over the last 10 years, and then suddenly the dam burst. And of course, when a dam bursts, you get a lot of power in a very short space, in a very concentrated space.
What do you think it achieved, the Pistols?
I think it made people talk and question things about music, and music as an art form, and the social significance of it, as opposed to it just being like some sort of nifty little tune, that you kind of hum along to. I mean, if you get a record on the radio, you've got a perfect way of saying something. You got all that exposure, and I mean, people pay sort of millions of pounds for like a party political broadcast or whatever, and like you've got a 3-minute single to say what you want to in it, and if it's got a good tune, people like give it the time of day.
In 1977, the punk revolution seemed to be in full swing. God Save the Queen got to #2 in Jubilee Week, and the Sex Pistols were internationally infamous.
On a holiday in the sun, I wanna go to the New Bell Sun.
But within a year, the Pistols would split up, and with them many people's hopes that punk would change things permanently.
And of course, it never really happened. And that was the same in a different way with the Sex Pistols, because I remember Jamie Reid telling me that they all thought that they would just be the start. And what in fact happened is they were only punk group, and most of the other ones that came out afterwards were, if not pathetic, then sort of fatally flawed. I mean, the Clash, after being initially wonderful, turned into a bunch of social workers. Very successful, very honourable social workers, but social workers nonetheless. And the Damned and all the others were just sort of hyped up entertainment, really. No, I mean, I'm not putting them down for that, but it meant that the original thing was diluted. And that sort of very pure expression of energy got diluted.
Politics and punk, I didn't really take it seriously then. I also think that many of the kids, quite frankly, they weren't taking it seriously. You had obviously many aware kids, and I mean politically aware, not sort of aware generally, who obviously thought it was serious and they were going to change the world. But all you do is shift it from one side to the other. And I think for a while they did actually shift it, maybe slightly to the left.
And now it's gone back again.
And now it's gone back again. We have a right-wing government, don't we?
Siouxsie and the Banshees are one of the few punk groups not to give up or change their attack. This year, Siouxsie got her own record label. An early Sex Pistols fan, her first appearance on stage was in 1976 at the first punk festival.
Tried to get a band together?
Yeah, I did the 100 Club, the punk festival. Siouxsie and the Banshees.
What did you sing?
The Lord's Prayer via Twist and Shout, Knocking on Heaven's Door, and a bit of Deutschland, Deutschland, über alle.
What went down the best?
All of it. It got boring in some parts, but it picked up.
You were singing?
Yeah.
Had you sung before?
Not on stage, no.
Did you think that was important?
No.
And who was backing you up?
Sid Vicious on drums, Steve Spunker on bass, Marco on guitar, and me just doing the vocals.
7 years later, in the Camden Lock shop run by our friend Morticia, I tried my hand at interviewing Siouxsie and Steve.
The only rubbish that there is to get sucked into business and into thinking about shifting units and all that kind of business talk, which unfortunately a lot of people that are making music are thinking more about business than making music.
Yeah.
Or
You simply have to tailor your business to fit your music rather than tailor your music to fit an industry that thinks it knows better, because it doesn't, because it's full of idiots.
Susie thinks the revolution failed because of media resistance.
well, it's down to there's too much power in the wrong places. It's closed up so much within TV and radio. I mean peak radio and TV. You know, then shove things on late at night. You know, because no one's awake to watch it or something, or they're preaching to the converted anyway. Yeah. But there's just too much power with those kind of people.
Yeah, and they decide what's.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you make a video and there's only one program that it can go on, and yet they censor. They say we like it or we don't. And half the time, the effort that you've put into something to get across to more people an idea is not allowed to be shown or seen or heard.
Punk sort of punks we met. All belong to the Young Ornithology Society. They're various different public schools.
But now, inspired mainly by Susie, punk's regaining momentum, taking up where the Sex Pistols left off.
Sitting there in their Teenage Werewolf T-shirts and everything, talking about bloody Greta Spotted Tweeters seen in the Norfolk Fens and things.
But they're trying to take 1983 punk in a new direction.
Shut up. So, and the others don't hear them, but it's like story, Greta Spotted Tweet.
Where they differ from us is that we're doing things, but we're also trying to do things on... we're trying to change things as well, through songs, through writing as well, whereas they're not. They've done something and they've just merged into the sort of environment that they were totally against as punks.
You're a problem child. You set your mum on fire and you drove your dad wild. They put you in a care and you beat the kids up. They put you in a ball store and you strung yourself up.
This is Brigandage, the other group on tonight's bill at the Tribe. Brigandage was started by lead singer Michelle, who continues to carry the old punk torch. Like many of the original punk groups, Brigandage was formed at art school. Following Susie's example, Michelle broke into a music world totally male-controlled until punk stirred things up.